Yeah, good afternoon, good evening. No matter the time this message is reaching you, excuse me. Accept greetings from the African continent. Accept greetings from my black people all over the world, my brothers and sisters. I love you all. I love the black people. They are a special breed, strong, powerful, determined to overcome. I come to you today to ask this serious question: what went wrong? When you look across African continent, across Africa, we have all what it takes to develop. We have all what it takes to eliminate poverty in our continent. What went wrong? We keep fighting. Look at what is happening in Sudan. Two African brothers, two factions of the army, they rise up against each other, chasing mosquitoes. When you have the Mother Africa, a big elephant that you can just easily pick, why are people fighting over small Sudan when we can protect the interests of the whole Africa and you'll be free to move anywhere in Africa and enjoy yourself? Why look only at Sudan itself and you are fighting? Since the day South Sudan separated from Sudan, what have they achieved? Has it changed the status quo of Africa? Look at what is happening in Cameroon, southern Cameroon. People don't sleep freely in their houses. They run in the bushes every day in the name they want to separate the country. Why look only at that southern Cameroon, the so-called Ambazonia, that the name they gave to it? Why look only at it? Why don't just picture Africa as a whole? We fight for the liberation of Africa. We fight for the unity of Africa. Why concentrating on mine, on chasing mosquitoes, when there's a big elephant for us to just pick with, maybe with a bow and arrow? My dear African people, we need to stop fighting in our continent. Fighting and killing ourselves doesn't help us. They have killed us enough. Do you know the amount of Africans that died during the slave trade? Do you know the amount of Africans that died during the colonial period? Go and read history. What King Leopold II of Belgium did to Africans, to Congolese people. 15 million of them were slaughtered, were killed. Nobody is even talking about it. Today they are calling us highly indebted poor country. Murderers. They are calling us highly indebted poor countries. When they came, killed us, fragmented us, planned hatred. They bring their so-called, what they call democracy, which means if the majority are fools, they can go ahead and choose an idiot as their head of whatever. And you call that democracy, and they are telling us that that's what we have to do. They are coming and telling us that we must accept in our continent that homosexuals and lesbians should be part of our law. We should legalize it. We as Africans, we have our values. If people were born with abnormality, as the president of Uganda said, why don't we go back to check what happened? Why insist forcing us to accept what is not part of us? If America accepts it, you are very free to come in our continent. Those that are not, those that want to follow you and go, you build a community of homosexual there, no problem. We'll let them go and stay with you. But here in Africa, we cannot encourage it. We cannot. Because God in his divine way allow a man and a woman through their act of sexual intercourse produces children. I wonder what you produce when two homosexuals they meet. What do you produce? When two lesbians they meet, what do they produce? What comes out of it? What is the blessing of it? Because what God did in his infinite mercy comes with blessings. And you are forcing us to accept it. No. We won't. Africans won't. We will not. It is high time we, the African people, we begin to appreciate who we are. It's because we have allowed ourselves, we have allowed our continent to lose for these people. We open our doors to everybody. Anybody can come in and say whatever he likes. They will never go and say that to the Chinese. They will never go and say that to the Arab people. They will never go and say that to the Indians. But Africans, since we are good people, open heart people, we open our doors, they come in. They say whatever. I remember the Vice President of America came to Ghana. I saw how she was, the security team was busy searching people. Who should be scared of who? You that came into our continent was supposed to be scared of you. You are searching journalists that came to cover the event. We're supposed to be scared of you that came to our continent. Not the other way around. Africans are too good people. They are too good. But at times being too good at the expense of your own destiny of your people is dangerous. Because this goodness has exposed us to so many things. We remember during COVID, what happened? The preaching of the world is that Africa is gone. There will be cops. That's the Secretary General of the United Nations said there will be cops along the streets of Africa. Africa was abandoned to its own. But thank God, that did not happen. Till today they are shocked. What kind of immunity does Africa has? That time all planes were carrying all foreigners from Africa back to their countries, while waiting for the disaster to enter and destroy Africa. It did not happen. We were protected, divinely protected. My dear African people, at times we need to look amongst ourselves. We unite and develop our continent. It's very important. Let us unite and develop our continent. Let us stop the little conflicts that are across Africa. Let us think development. Why can't we begin to think of a strategy to build a railway line that runs from, let's say, Somalia, passing through Central Africa, right to Senegal? Why don't we think of building a railway that runs from Libya, passing maybe through Kenya, going down to Botswana, right down to South Africa? Why don't we think of building an airline system that is only within our continent, and our visa-free citizens begin to move about the continent to do their businesses? Why don't we drop the borders, make our immigration system to be one and indivisible, so much so that each African, wherever you find yourself, you are free to settle, you are free to interact with your brothers. Language can never be a barrier to us. Language has never been a barrier to development. Language, our differences, can never be a hindrance to development. Never. It can never be. My dear African people, I come to this platform to submit to you that if we unite as one people, never shall we again die in the high seas on our way to Europe. Never shall we again die in containers in the name of going to Europe. we will see how the trend will be reversed. And those in America, Europe will begin to find their way back home. Let us build Africa as one people. I love Africa. I love my African people. God bless Africa.